Welcome to TMZ Live. We have a lot to talk to you about in the Nancy Guthrie case. We have a lot of new information, including something that we got at the beginning of our day early, an email from somebody who says they know who the kidnapper is, and they say they have been trying to get in touch with Savannah's brother and sister to no avail. They have now sent us this email saying that the kidnappers are not going to talk anymore, but if they get 1 Bitcoin deposited into an account here.
If this person, the sender, gets 1 Bitcoin, not the kidnapper.
That's right. If this sender gets 1 Bitcoin deposited in this new Bitcoin account, which we verified, that they will then ante up the information saying who the kidnapper is.
Right.
We have contacted the FBI and the Sheriff's Department. We have given them this email, and it is the latest twist in this story.
And of course, this saying someone, sending this note saying that they know who the kidnapper is comes just on the heels of the FBI releasing those images yesterday, which caused a flood, as you would imagine, a flood of tip calls to the FBI, to police, and even to the media, with people claiming that they know who this person is.
We're going to get into some specifics about what this person was wearing and holstering.
And the things that law enforcement is looking at.
Before we do, we want to address something that's been going around social media, because I think it's important in 2026 to look at social media where the audience
some of those
is,
things, right.
and address some of the things that are bubbling around.
So I think this started with late yesterday. We broke a story that the Bitcoin address, the original Bitcoin address in the ransom note we received more than a week ago, there was activity in that account.
And we're not saying how much. There are reasons we are not saying how much, but there was activity. Somebody on social media is saying 15 minutes or so after
that activity,
they saw an account. It's not clear what account, but an account.
It's a different one. We know it's different from the one that we were looking at.
Yes.
Yeah.
An account somewhere, a Bitcoin account, that showed a deposit for $6 million, which is the exact amount of the ransom demand in the first ransom note. So a lot of people in social media are saying, did the Guthrie family pay the $6 million? We can now tell you we have law enforcement sources involved in this investigation who say no.
That payment that you may be seeing this on social media, that payment, that account, that Bitcoin account that someone is claiming got the $6 million deposit. Obviously, it did get a $6 million deposit, but we are told that is not
unrelated.
It is completely unrelated. And to be honest, seems like something someone did as a hoax.
Maybe. But one of the things that we couldn't close the loop on until now is in the second note that was received
by a Tucson station on Friday.
We didn't get the second note. And what we were wondering is whether there was a second Bitcoin address on that note, so that maybe money could have been funneled to that account and not the account we're looking at from the first ransom note. We can now tell you, we know from law enforcement that that second note did not contain a new Bitcoin address. So the only Bitcoin address is the one that from the original note that we have, that we've monitored, where we saw this activity. So
you say there are other stations that are the other 2 stations that got that. Are also monitoring it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about the outfit this kidnapper was wearing.
Yeah, because the gear that the kidnapper is seen on that Nest camera wearing is of very, very deep interest to the FBI, and they are digging into every aspect of it. But there are 3 things in particular we're told they are trying to really put under a microscope to find out where these items came from. Because if they can track that down, then they can find, the kidnapper. And the 3 things are the backpack, the gloves, and the gun, the handgun that everyone has looked at and thought, what a weird place to put a gun that you very rarely ever see I've never seen it before, actually, someone carrying a gun right in the front of their waistband.
Now, I think we should say that they're not just looking at those 3 items, but those 3 items were mentioned in particular in our sourcing with law enforcement. So they're looking at everything.
Yeah.
But let's kind of break down. Now what they're doing is they're trying to find out who purchased these items and where did they get them from? And if they can start looking at the items and they can figure out, who sells them, they believe whoever bought this is in the Tucson area. We know law enforcement believes that. So they are going to be looking at someone in the Tucson area that may have purchased those items, in the fairly recent past.
Definitely, yeah. And let's talk about this backpack. So, I mean, everything that this individual in the video and photos is wearing is kind of basic. There's no apparent logos or anything that is very notable.
Right, these are not designer
Exactly.
items,
There's no Nike swoosh, there's no, so it's a little hard to decipher, but this backpack, interestingly, looks a lot like this Walmart Ozark trail hiker backpack. So if you see in the photos, it has those 2 reflective kind of bars on the shoulders. That's very unique. You don't really see that a lot, but in this backpack especially, you see it in the shoulders, you see it in the stitching, that kind of X stitching in the front bottom near his armpit. And then when he turns around in the video for a second, you can see this mountain range kind of triangular symbol, which
is
looks
at the
a
top
lot
of the
like
backpack.
And we just got to be careful in sourcing that this is something that we discovered.
Right.
We're not saying that
Law
this
enforcement
is the path the FBI or Sheriff's Department is going down, but this is what we found, that there is that similarity.
And interesting, on the Walmart website, it's a $10 backpack, so very easily accessible. It's actually the overall pick in backpacks right now and is in low stock since the past 24 hours.
So that's the backpack at one potential retail location for the backpack.
Right.
The other things are the gloves.
Right.
And we're told that there are some people who believe these are like winter gloves, which would definitely be an odd purchase in Tucson.
So I will tell you that I spoke with a law enforcement source who actually called them that. Now, I don't know that they are.
Yeah, I don't know that they are either. I'll be honest, when I looked at this yesterday when it came in, they appeared to me, especially in the part of the video where he's putting his hand over the camera, they look rubbery to me.
Yeah, like
they look
latex.
like almost like heavy-duty rubber gloves that a plumber might wear, a butcher.
But we don't.
But I don't know. I don't know.
We don't know where they're
looking
going.
at those. See right there. I don't know, but they're definitely looking closely at those gloves.
Now the gun is more interesting, I think.
Yeah, because that gun, as we said, being in that holster, doesn't really add up. First of all, the position of the holster. Then there's the actual material. It, to us, looks like a polyester holster that is typically used for a revolver. And this individual is very clearly not carrying a revolver. Appears to be a semi-automatic handgun of some sort, which you would not put in that polyester holster typically.
So here's the upshot of all of this. So we are told authorities are on the hunt to find out where some of these things were purchased, because
in the Tucson area,
as you know, I mean, I'm just going to give you an example. If you go to a Home Depot and you buy something, even if you pay cash, they can figure out when somebody came in to purchase that item. And then you go to the surveillance video and you can actually look at who grabbed that item and went to the checkout at that time. And, that's
then
one of the, it's a very common law enforcement tool, and they are doing just that. With the holster, what I'm thinking, and we don't have knowledge that they're doing this, but it just stands to reason to me, that they would call gun ranges and find out
anyone who comes in with that type of holster, and particularly
with that type of gun,
that type of gun, and that they have it actually holstered in the front of their waistband.
Right.
That would just
be odd.
Definitely stand out at a gun range. By the way, if you're thinking about retail, that what you just said about looking at the receipt and the time and then getting surveillance, you may be thinking, well, a lot of people buy things online now. you still wouldn't have the surveillance camera there, but you're still a record.
There's a record
of you purchasing it, and in fact now there's a credit card attached to that purchase. So that's another thing that they'll be looking into.
They're looking at all of this. What this guy is wearing and what he's holstering is really important, obviously, in this investigation.
Hi, my name's Craig. I'm actually from Long Island. I want to talk about the gear. So I was watching the footage. So at first I thought it could potentially be a female based on the behavior. There are certain moments. We also don't know, like if you're looking at the outfits, a lot of it looks really crisp and brand new. This looks like somebody who went out recently and purchased these clothing and almost appears to be kind of amateurish.
Well, there are other reasons you would say it's amateurish, I agree.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of who it is, he's got a mustache and either a goatee or a beard. So that doesn't...
That's what I see now. I heard this morning some people in our office say that they think that it's a mask of some sort. I don't know why you'd wear a mask and a ski mask over that mask.
Right.
That doesn't add up to me, but that's what some people are thinking about the facial hair.
So the big thing right now is the ransom note, the Bitcoin activity, and what this guy is wearing. And the FBI and the Sheriff's Department, they are all over that.
Coming up.
Some really sad news on the website that we, as we're shooting this, just found out and confirmed that James Van Der Beek died this morning at his home.
Be right back.
So we have just broken some really sad news on the website that we, as we're shooting this, just found out and confirmed that James Van Der Beek died this morning at his home, and he had been battling cancer for quite some time. He had announced it in late 2024, though we think he had obviously knew a little bit before that.
Yeah, he had gotten a colonoscopy, discovered he had colorectal cancer. It seemed pretty advanced. And, you know, over the last few years, he's talked about it very openly.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was GMA he went on when he first announced it. So just a tremendous loss for a generation that watched his movies,
and
his
a big
TV
star,
show,
a big star
Dawson's
with
Creek.
Dawson's Creek,
Yep.
Varsity Blues. He was a big star and a big family man.
Yes,
Yeah,
every
I mean,
time
not only
we saw
for
him.
fans, right? I mean, obviously he has a wife, he has 6 children. They had just moved to Texas recently, had gotten out of Los Angeles. I mean, not super shocking because there was a huge Dawson's Creek reunion at the end of last year,
And
he ended up pulling out because obviously he wasn't feeling well. But still, just obviously a legendary actor, dead at 48, which is just horrible.
And he was, even after he moved the family to Texas, he would come back to LA every now and we would see him out, and he was just, it was always, every clip we got with him was gracious, was fun, was loved to talk about his family. Just a huge loss.
Interesting that the medical examiner said cause of death was undetermined.
Because it was reported this morning at 6 o'clock this morning. So I would assume the family called the medical
examiner. The family
examiner.
said he died at home, and so then they called the medical examiner,
Correct.
right, to say that he had passed.
So we don't know whether this was kind of a hospice situation, you know, or whether this was sudden. We just, but it's obviously something
He's been
they were dealing
like
with
you
for
said,
a long
the
time.
fact that he didn't go to the reunion at the end of the year. How was the way they worded it?
That he passed peacefully this morning. He met his final days with courage, faith, and grace. So there's much to share regarding his wishes, love for the humanity, and the sacredness of time. So,
wow. Our condolences to the family.
Hello, everyone. It's Allison from Tennessee. This is obviously devastating news. James Van Der Beek was an absolute American icon. He represented the 90s and the 2000s for an entire generation of people. He even transitioned into one of the first memes of meme culture. So he stayed with us through all of these years. And my condolences go out to his family. This is absolutely devastating news.
Yeah.
We always say when you have entertainers like this that the one silver lining is your art is your legacy. It lives on and gives you some form of immortality that people will be watching his movies, watching his TV shows, and celebrating him. So there's that. Well, you just knew there were going to be fireworks on Capitol Hill today because Attorney General Pam Bondi sat down for a congressional hearing, or we should just call it congressional grilling. They should just call it what it is. And
she was all over the place on Epstein, and very few people are believing what she is saying.
Well, certainly the Democrats weren't.
And even some Republicans.
But Jamie Raskin, Congressman Jamie Raskin, went after her with some fire. What's interesting is that the Attorney General did not back down. In fact, you could say she went back at him with even more fire.
How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
Chairman Jordan, I'm not going to get in the gutter with these people.
How many
but I'm going to answer the question.
How many?
Restore 45 seconds, Mr. Nadler, please, Mr. Chairman.
Answer.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch.
Reclaiming?
Not on our time. No way.
Reclaiming?
And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, oh, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're a lawyer, not even a lawyer.
I mean, welcome to the gutter, Pam Bondi.
Oh, my
but
God.
I am
she
sorry.
said she's not going to get in the
You
gutter.
know, when you resort to these personal attacks, when you don't answer the question you're asked, I'm sorry, I don't care.
Are you kidding?
That's why
you
you're
are.
there.
You are something else.
I'm going to make
Yes,
my point, and
it
then
is.
I can make my point, and then you get to respond, okay?
Go on ahead.
It's despicable that she is resorting to personal attacks, which, by the way, Jamie Raskin is an incredibly accomplished lawyer. So she's full of crap when she says that. Number two, it's not a political thing. It's like, you have done a bad job with the Epstein file, and Republicans feel that way too. And you won't answer a question. So the way you deflect is just to make a personal, hollow, ridiculous
As you
attack.
make a personal attack in your little filibuster there.
I'm answering
His little
what
filibuster.
she's done.
His little filibuster. What did that mean?
It was a height joke.
It's offensive. It's offensive.
No, what's offensive? As if the Republicans are exclusive to personal attacks. It's absurd. Just be fair with these things, Harvey. It's always the same.
But
you're never.
Well,
It's
hold on,
always.
but the thing that's fair about
every
it,
time.
Did she answer the question?
Every time.
Did she answer the question?
Not there. She did.
But no, she didn't answer the question.
But they all
because
do it.
she doesn't want to. Because
They all do it.
the answer is no, and she didn't want to say it.
What was even the question? I
Have
don't know
you
what the damn
looked at
question
the
was.
6 people and it started an investigation? She did not want to answer the question, and she's saying, I'll answer the question, and Nadler was saying, answer my question.
Right.
No, I'll answer the question. Well, that was the question.
If you sit down, if you come in for a congressional hearing, right?
Yeah.
You sit down. The whole point of you being there is to answer the questions. And if you don't want to answer
But
it,
this happens
and if you don't
every
want to, but if you
time.
don't want to answer it, no, it doesn't happen every time that you start calling each other names.
Loser lawyer.
Come
on.
Let me. I'll give you some examples. This always happens. The Republican doesn't answer the Democrat's question, and vice versa.
Oh, it's fine.
Just say that. That's all I'm asking for.
You're right.
I'm not even saying that was right. I'm just saying, can we be fair?
Yes.
For once.
Yes, you're right that Democrats Democrats have deflected. Democrats generally don't resort to this high school.
God.
You're a loser.
I've been calling Nazi. I've been calling Nazi for 8 years.
Congress. We're talking about
by people out there.
By us?
Not by you. No.
We're talking
not
about
by
Congress.
Are we fair?
Sometimes.
Can we not? We're talking about Congress.
We'll take sometimes.
Sometimes.
Hi, I'm Michaela from Texas, and Pam should be absolutely disgusted with herself to sit up there in a Epstein hearing and hurl insults at people. I feel like the focus has shifted from the victims, but all of America is watching her, and we need answers.
We do. Hey, Anakin, I'm buying Babcock lunch.
I already got a cheeseburger on the way.
You were going to get off cheap, too.
It was my olive branch.
You're going to be like some nuggets and you're out.
Where is that, by the way? It's taking a long time.
Coming up.
Zayn Malik said something very honest, which I think we should all appreciate.
And there's wisdom behind what he said, I think.
That's what you think.
At that moment in time, I might have thought it was love, but as I've got older, I realized maybe it wasn't.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say, look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Oh, Zayn Malik. Zayn Malik said something very honest, which I think we should all appreciate when a celebrity is honest about their feelings.
And there's wisdom behind what he said, I think.
That's what you think. I think a lot of people think he said something very hurtful to the mother of his child, Gigi Hadid. So he was on Call Her Daddy and was talking about love and...
Or lack thereof.
And being in love. Here's what he said. And yeah, you think it's wisdom. See what you guys think.
You said in an interview that you don't know if you've ever truly been in love. Do you still stand by that?
Yeah. Yeah. Because like my understanding of love is always developing, you know? At that moment in time, I might have thought it was love, but as I've got older, I realized maybe it wasn't. Just to say this on record, I will always love G, because she is the reason my child isn't, you know, on this earth. And I have the utmost respect for her. I will always love her. But yeah, no, but I don't think I was in love with her at that point. Otherwise, I would have been a better version of myself.
I think that is so interesting, and it's very controversial, but here's my point on this, and I believe this, that you can be with somebody when you're not in love with them. You can live with them, you can coexist with them, you can have children with them, and you can really love their company and love the relationship. But why do you have to be, quote, in love? To me, it's that kind of amorphous thing that people imagine they have and then worry that maybe they don't, where he's just saying, it's a feeling I just don't have, but I could be with her when I was with her, and it worked when it worked, and I love the fact that I have kids with her, but I wasn't in love. Why is that such a bad thing to say?
I don't know that you even heard what he said.
It's not a bad thing to say. Of course, I appreciate the honesty, and I love Zayn. I'm an OG directioner. I'm still a little mad at him for, you know, leaving, but I think he didn't need to single her out. I think they have a good...
But he had to single her out because he knew everybody was thinking it.
They have a good co-parenting relationship, and I understand that since the whole Yolanda drama...
It did not work at the beginning when they first broke up.
But now, as of late, my understanding is they had a good co-parenting relationship. But now, after he said that, if I were Gigi, I'd be kind of like, hey, man, you didn't really have to...
Wait a minute, why? Why can't he say, if he's being honest, that he's loved being around her when he was with her, they had a great time, they had a romantic relationship, but in terms of the in love, why is it...
You missed the part where it sounded like a rationalization for bad behavior on his part.
I don't
he said,
a little bit.
I could not have been in love with her, because if I was, I would have been a better version of myself. So basically, I screwed up, and my rationalization for screwing up was I wasn't in love with her.
That's where he's showing sympathy for a person that may be receiving it the way you're receiving it. But I think...
Or like Gigi's receiving it. It doesn't matter to me.
Do you have to be in love with somebody that you have kids with and live with?
No, but it's more like...
Okay, end the case. That's it.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, by way of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I just want to say in my Cardi B voice, what was the reason? We did it. You were not in love with Gigi. You said that 2 years ago. You don't need to keep saying it. But who is in love with her and who is feeling her is Bradley Cooper. So we're moving on.
Oh, play that Bradley Cooper card. Bam, out the door.
Coming up.
Travis Kelce has a side gig. Right. Incredibly popular podcast. Well, here's the problem. They did something on New Heights, or they're about to do something that might have tipped their hand on the wedding.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Travis Kelce has a side gig, aside from football and
Acting,
aside from
game
acting
shows,
and
endorsements,
being engaged to Taylor Swift.
That too.
Besides that, he has another side gig, which is New Heights, his podcast with his brother Jason.
Right.
Incredibly popular podcast. Well, here's the problem. They did something on New Heights, or they're about to do something that might have tipped their hand on the wedding. Or at least that's what a lot of Swifties are thinking.
Okay, I want to hear.
So obviously, every podcast, most podcasts, have a hiatus. Most of them don't go.
Do they really?
Most don't go 52 weeks.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they have some period of the year where they take a hiatus.
Really?
And New Heights.
I do it on
hiatus.
when I go on vacation. I do it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know we've seen some of the shots. It's not pretty. But they take a hiatus, so they pre-tape some episodes. No big deal, except fans noticed that this year they have pre-taped twice as many episodes and extended their hiatus. So now people think
they're thinking
wedding
the hiatus is the wedding.
going to happen during the hiatus.
Did they announce the hiatus?
Yes. So normally their hiatus is how many episodes? 3, someone told me? Anyway, this time they're taking 6 weeks off.
6 weeks for a wedding?
It's normally 2 to 3 weeks. Now it is 6 weeks. So, no, the wedding isn't 6 weeks long. But
maybe
people think that
time
at some
leading
point
up to
during
it, the
6
wedding
weeks,
and the honeymoon.
Right.
Oh, when are the 6 weeks?
Good question. We're in it right now. We're in the first week of the 6 weeks.
Well, then she's not going to get married next week.
Well, that's
You
why
never
Swifties
know.
all
Why-
excited. They're
why
like, wait,
wouldn't
this
she?
thing might be about to happen.
Well, wait. Why? You said she's not going to get
Because
married
there
next
would
week.
be
Why?
500 people there. We're
Hold
going to
on.
know.
There's still 5 weeks. So take the last week for the honeymoon, and then the week before that. So we still got 3 weeks before the wedding.
What if they elope?
I would not be surprised at all. Would not be surprised
We
at
already
all.
know that there's going to be a wedding because what's his name came out and said he got the
He got
date.
to hold that date. But that could be for a reception.
Exactly. A big party where you just have all of your friends, but you actually just do the wedding and the ceremony with just Donna and Andrea and the dads. Boom, boom. Because they just, it could be too hard.
Okay, we have cracked this.
Or we're on crack.
Or we're...
Hi, this is T from Detroit. I am so excited for this wedding. I hope they do not elope. I hope they have like a big wedding to shut her haters up because their relationship is so controversial. So I hope it's just so exciting and little details where she can maybe add little shots to all her haters in the wedding.
Yeah. Start looking for the Easter eggs.
I don't know if there are haters in the wedding.
There are haters on Taylor Swift. Anytime you're that big, you got your haters.
Hey, I have a question for you. Is this going to be bigger than Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' wedding?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't see how you take over.
But I do think...
Although Rome, maybe.
Grand opening, grand closing. That is what Jill Zarin is saying about her career on the Real Housewives of New York reboot is what people are calling it.
On E.
So they've now moved over. The original Housewives of New York have a new show on E called The Golden Life. And Jill was, of course, going to be part of that. And then she watched the halftime show of the Super Bowl and decided to share her feelings about said halftime show. And now she's out of a job. So here's what she said about Bad Bunny's performance. Then we'll get into what she's saying about getting canned.
I said it before that it was the worst halftime show ever. And it's 250 years that we're celebrating right now in the United States. And I just don't think it was appropriate to have it in Spanish. And quite frankly, I didn't need to see him grabbing his, G area. I don't speak Spanish. I would have liked to have known the words he was saying. To me, it looked like a political statement because there were literally no white people in the entire thing. I think it was a political statement, and I'm not taking a side one way or the other. I just do. I think it was an ICE thing. And I just think that the NFL sold out, and it's very sad because this was 75 years, and, shame. Shame.
I don't know what the 75 years was. I think maybe she was trying to refer to the 250 years.
Well, no.
Earlier,
how many Super Bowls have they had?
61.
Oh,
or
well,
60, rather.
Then she was close.
There have been white people in the other Super Bowl halftime shows.
So, E Apparently
pulled the plug.
They pulled the plug.
It was actually the production company that we got the statement from. They said that her feelings, her opinion about the halftime show didn't align with their company's, the production company's.
So she was canceled.
So she was fired before they even started filming. Now we've spoken to a couple different people close to her, and listen, what they're telling us is she understands certain things she said were wrong. She feels she's a part of cancel culture, though, and she feels she wasn't allowed to have her opinion. But now looking at it, she looks at it as, well, why didn't the producers use this as a teaching moment? We could have filmed and talked about this, me with the other women. That's just how she sees it. I mean, this is their life.
I get her point about feeling like cancel culture.
It's about filming their life.
And she shared her opinion. And
can I say, I disagree with what she said. It was my favorite halftime show of all time. I loved it. And I really mean that. I loved it. And I disagree with all the people who were saying, oh, I didn't understand it. You don't need to. And, but I disagree with them. But I'm not going to fire them. And I know she made that comment about there aren't enough white people, but you saw her hesitate. And I don't think it came from a racist. I don't think it came. I think she was trying.
That's the Well,
I know what you're saying.
First of all, there was a white person on stage who had a very prominent
Lady Gaga.
So that's BS. And to say, I agree with you that maybe she shouldn't have been fired, right? But don't whitewash it, pardon the phrase now, and say that that wasn't racist. That her complaint about it is that there weren't enough white people on stage.
It's a terrible thing to say.
That's BS, and it is racist.
I get
whether or not they should have fired her, we can talk about that.
And she did delete the video very quickly. I mean, obviously with the internet nowadays, people grab stuff quick, but she removed it within minutes.
Didn't it look
because
like
she watched it back?
She hesitated.
Didn't it look almost like she was looking off camera, like to someone? Maybe someone was giving her notes or something.
Maybe. She's probably with her husband, and do you
somebody was shooting it, or well, they would be in the camera lens.
Or almost like she was repeating what somebody else had said.
I mean, there were a lot of people that were outspoken about the halftime show.
I just think firing her is.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's a litmus test.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm coming to you live from Los Angeles. And regarding Joel's statement, I just want to say that, do I agree? No. That said, do I also think that removing people from conversations just because we disagree with them is the right thing to do? Not necessarily. What I would love to see would be open discourse as well as accountability and the opportunity for people to learn. Because in the words of Bad Bunny's halftime performance, the only thing more powerful than hate is love, and I think we should really lead by that example.
I don't know if anybody has to love her, but I do agree that if you kept her on the show, you could have had
talk about it.
A really interesting conversation about it. Not a teachable moment, because they're all grown-ups. They don't need to teach her.
I agree with you on that.
But they could have really...
You can talk about it.
Yes.
Coming up.
Dear Michelle, I have questions about life. Will you answer them for me, please?
That's not the kind of compromise in a marriage that you get used to and adjust to. Get out.
Be right back.
Dear Michelle, I have questions about life. Will you answer them for me, please?
Dear Michelle, I have questions about what is happening when you've gone from being First Lady to...
Dear Abby.
Essentially, Dear Abby. So on the latest episode of Michelle Obama's podcast, she and her brother, Craig Robinson, are taking some questions from the audience. And Craig reads one about a couple, or a woman who's one half of a couple, and looking for some advice, which Michelle happily dispenses. I don't want this is going to come off wrong. I feel like she's above this.
And I kind of love it.
My partner has expressed a desire to open up our relationship. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with this, but I can tell he isn't very happy or satisfied with the way things are going. What should I do?
Get out. Run. Look, I wouldn't do it. Sounds a little fishy.
It does sound fishy.
Sounds a little fishy. Look, and for the questioner, don't talk yourself into something like that you are not into. There's a reason you're not into it, and that's not the kind of compromise in a marriage that you get used to and adjust to.
I just want more from Michelle. I'd want more for her than answering those kinds of questions.
I mean, here's why. Michelle Obama has written a book that has, and I've read it, and a lot of it has to do with marriage. And she's talked about difficulties with marriage, struggles, happiness, and all. So this is actually in her sweet spot. We're talking about marriage.
I agree, and I look at her and Barack's relationship. I'm taking advice from her. I want a marriage like that.
I'm not saying that she doesn't have the wisdom and that she can't impart great advice. I don't know. I have loftier goals for her.
She's so good at it.
I have loftier goals.
There are people. You have said on this show that some of the stuff she was doing was kind of tired and a little bit old. You had said that before.
I said because she kept bringing up stuff about Barack and basically, airing out their marital laundry.
And so it was A, about marriage, and B, you weren't interested in it particularly.
No,
now
hold on.
It's
not
spicy.
that I wasn't
now
interested
it's spicy.
Listen, she did it in a great way. It was very entertaining, and the whole get out was great.
What's the podcast about? You're not.
Maybe I wanted her to do more than a podcast. I don't know.
She's doing a podcast.
She's
Don't ever
good
do a
at it.
podcast. But she's figured out. She's figured out that this is a way of connecting with an audience, and it was spicy. We are talking about it, and we're not saying, oh, God, that was boring.
And by the way, hold on a second. I'm not going to let you get away with this. You're the one who says every time someone brings up, hey, we're going to talk about Michelle Obama's podcast, and you go, ugh.
That's right. Because I wasn't that
Because you weren't into her doing a podcast either.
I'm interested in this.
This guy's trying to call me out.
I'm interested in this.
He's trying to call me out.
I want her answer on this. I like it.
It's Phil from Mossville, Louisiana. I think she's within her rights to speak on this, because if there's anybody who knows anything about relationships and strains and pressures on it, it's the president's wife of the United States. So, she has every right to give her opinion on this on the show.
You know, the Miranda, it's the Miranda rights. You have a right to speak about marriage. You have a right to talk about open relationships.
She doesn't have the right. It's not what I said.
Anything you say can and will engage the audience.
Coming up.
All right, we got to talk about the biggest sports story in the world. And it is not about Olympic results, although I guess in a way it is, because we're talking about the Norwegian biathlete who won the bronze, Sturla.
Be right back.
All right, we got to talk about the biggest sports story in the world. And it is not about Olympic results, although I guess in a way it is. This is the Olympic result that you're not going to see on the daily wrap-up, because we're talking about the Norwegian biathlete who won the bronze, Sturla. You want to say the last name?
No. Common spelling, though.
Sturla, remember we told you that he had, after he won.
His big speech was a confession that he had cheated on his girlfriend, and apparently she dumped him. And
after he told her about it.
And he told her about it just a week before the Olympics. And then he is trying to get her back. So literally told the world as he cries there.
Tearfully told the world what he did.
He wants her back.
And wants her back.
And confessed what he did.
Everybody wants to know, is she taking him back?
Guess what? She talked. She talked.
It's hard to forgive. Even after a declaration of love in front of the whole world, I did not choose to be put in this position, and it hurts to have to be in it. We have had contact, and he is aware of my opinions on this.
She's taking him back. You read that? She's taking him back. She is taking
I see that
him
completely
back.
different.
The door is open, I would say.
Open.
But why does this have to be so immediate? Why does everyone want her to take him back right now? There could be a process here.
She says they've already had contact.
Some people have said that if he would have won gold, that this would have been a no-brainer.
Well, he would have won gold if it wasn't something else wasn't in his mind.
Why did he say this to her a week before the Olympics? Wait a week.
Well, no,
really,
I think she cornered him. I think she found something.
Can we go back to the statement? Let me tell you why she didn't. This is not good. She said, it hurts to have to be in this position.
Read the next sentence.
I didn't ask to
No, you missed.
You
missed. Even after a declaration of love. She wouldn't say.
No. She said, it's hard to forgive. Even after a declaration of love, hold on, in front of the whole world. She's pissed.
No.
I did not choose to be put in this position, and it hurts to have to be in it. The position she's talking about is the fact that he laid it out to the world.
Put it
That's
back
what
on the
she
screen.
doesn't want to
Put
be.
it back
Put it
on the
back
screen.
on the screen.
Put it back on the screen. Listen to me. Even after a declaration of love in front of the whole world, that's a flex. She's saying...
She said it's hard to forgive even after he did that.
Right, but she's not saying in front of the whole world
Okay,
pisses
so
her
what does
off.
she mean when she says, I did not choose to be put in this position and it hurts to have to be in it? She doesn't like the
position
fact that
of being the
aired it out
victim
to the entire world who's watching the Olympics.
No.
And now she's in the middle and everyone's wondering about whether she's taken back the guy who cheated on her.
She's taking him back because he did that in front of the whole world.
She is 100% not taking
You want to put it back on the screen?
Well, no, here's the thing. As for our boy, he says he regrets going through it.
That's clear.
Wait, regrets what? The cheating or saying it?
Both. Saying it in front of the world.
Yeah, he should not have done that.
Hey, this is Gentry from Georgia, and I have to agree. I think she's absolutely pissed, and I don't think she's going to take him back. She wanted the world to know that she was seen, but after that, like, I think she's done with him for sure.
Nah. No.
She done.
Nope. She's taking him back.
She gone.
What else you guys want to talk about?
So I'm Michelle from Riverview, and I'm talking about the Guthrie new ransom note. I don't feel that this note is real. Unfortunately, it seems like someone else is playing a game. The fact that they said they emailed her brother and sister, why aren't you calling Savannah? She's the one that has all the money and the contacts and can make things happen. It just feels like another attempt to try to either take people off the case or try to get some money and see if they can get away with it.
Well, we don't know if this person, if this person is trying to squeeze money and doesn't have that information,
they're in big trouble.
Criminal fraud.
Right.
That is criminal fraud.
But if they actually do have information, why would they?
And we don't have an answer to that question.
Correct.
One more.
Hi, I'm Maria Montalvo from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I'm commenting about the Jill Zarin thing. She has a lot to say, but she really didn't say anything. She was looking at herself the whole time, like, trying to see how that new face is working out, I guess, because she didn't say anything that made any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
And she tanked herself.
The weird thing was that she was taking a shot at Lady Gaga for having a facelift, according to her.
Right.
Which is weird coming from Real Housewives.
Boy,
I'm not saying...
Is that rich?
I'm just saying.
Coming up.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were in court today. They are there for a settlement conference. It's mandatory because the judge wants to see if they can avoid a trial. It's not going to work. What is interesting about this is check out what they are wearing.
Be right back.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni were in court today. And they are there for a settlement conference. Don't think
Does this seem like a waste of time?
Yeah, I mean, they always do this. It's mandatory because the judge wants to see if they can avoid a trial. It's not going to work. What is interesting about this is check out what they are wearing. Blake has green and pink. Justin comes in with green and pink.
Now, different shades of green. I know this is hard for you to see because you are colorblind. You're wearing green and you think you're wearing purple.
I'm wearing black, and that is at least green and pink. And so it's just interesting, these two kind of mortal enemies.
His is not green. His is like olive and pink. Hers is green and pink.
First of all, you're not like a fashion designer,
well,
okay?
First of all, compared to you, I actually am.
Oh, but that's a stylish shirt there. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry, you confused because you spent, $200 on a T-shirt. You think that's fashion?
57.
Whatever.
Anyway, there's not going to be a settlement in this case. The issue,
what if there was?
At least today, the trial is coming up next month. We will see if on the eve somebody blinks.